Hey, it's Rion for Get Sexual Attraction, this YouTube channel. It's all about natural sexual attraction and chemistry, no manipulation, no coercion, no games. All right? So how can you have sexual attraction with hotter women who have great social power, have beauty and glamour? Like, how can you actually have sexual attraction with them? There's a lot of dynamics with this that I'm just gonna run through fast, and you may have to rewatch this video a couple times. Basically, the pickup artist view is that this glamour and beauty is sex. And it is, but it doesn't lead to physical sexual intercourse. It leads to more glamour, fashion, and fantasy socioeconomic relationships of sex and beauty. Leads to more of the fantasy, which is very real, by the way, and that's why it's so powerful. It's just a different understanding and definition of sex. So that understanding where a woman is really has this great social power and beauty with glamour on the cover of a magazine, and these women can look like this, like these models, that's a lot of social power. That's social power. She could literally sleep with 10 million men who instantly want her because of the power, beauty, and conditioning that's going on with magazines, glamour, beauty. That is social power, which is its own dynamic, really, of non-physical or spiritual power and influence. Media is that distribution channel. So we can now be influenced by social power with YouTube and radio, TV, advertising, magazines. So it's really a dynamic of social power with a woman who has beauty, who looks like this. So she's really transcending herself to get into the non-physical or spiritual realms of sex and that understanding of sex. Sex is really the co-creative life force energies themselves of divine masculine and feminine energies manifesting into the world. So a woman's social power and glamour, you can't compare to that on the personal level. So if you actually want these women who have this great social, sexual power to be into you, you have to neutralize that to understand that sex and attraction is something else. So that instead of her being on the pedestal, you're equal to her social power on that social scale, which is a very difficult thing to do. So you have to have a stronger reality. There's another video where we talk about he or she who has the strongest reality wins. Well, by default, these women who take on this glamour, power, and beauty have this stronger reality. This machine, this socioeconomic machine, it feeds that system. So when a woman dresses up, shaves her legs, put on a certain type of clothes and makeup and hairstyle, bam, she has social power. You have to understand that sexual reality is something actually more powerful than that because it's life itself. So that's how you can help to understand by getting a new definition of sex, to understand that all life, all expressions of beauty are coming from source consciousness. And instead of projecting and keeping a woman on this starlit scale, which you're below here socially and she's up here socially, you actually understand that sex is life force itself. When you have that definition of sex, then you are powerful like a rock star, like gods and goddesses, which is what we really are. And you accept from that positioning, you can accept a woman's social power, her glamour, her beauty, her body, no matter how hot, you accept it. So you come from a true state of forgiveness, acceptance, and releasing your projections that would keep her above you, to understand and accept that you are equal to all beauty, all expressions of beauty, because we're coming from source consciousness. So that actually raises your frequency. Power is an aphrodisiac. Power is conscious energy. And women, they have this social power. You understand that the sexual attraction and connection with woman, one-on-one physically, is an entirely different dynamic and understanding of sex. So when you're in alignment with life, you understand the physical process of attraction and seduction would be one-on-one with a woman, not when she's in front of all the cameras. And don't go off in a fantasy world with that. The actual one-on-one process with a woman is what creates life. Her in front of a camera being seen by 10 million people on the cover of a magazine, that's something else. So when you see it for what it is, you can start to release the stronghold grip that glamour and beauty has had on you to actually be equal to it. All you have to do is change your relationship to these sources of power and influence. Before, it was stimulus response programming. Stars and starless goddesses, models, they're on these pedestals. As you accept that you are actually equal to all of that power in oneness, which is the greater spiritual truth, oneness of reality, you start becoming this empowered, equal man yourself. So when you meet these hot, beautiful women, there isn't this resistance they feel. It's just, he accepts me. He loves who I am. There's no blocks or resistances. When he's a source of advancement, when he's blessing glamour, beauty, and he's the next level of glamour and beauty, then the sexual attraction can be there with a woman. But if you are continuing to project her on the pedestal and you're not equal, there's just going to be disconnection around these hotter women. Okay, so if you want more attraction and connection with women who have great beauty and social power, you got to work on these more powerful levels. Okay, the social dynamics, going through, there's different practical techniques, Ho'oponopono, sexual attraction, Qigong, changing your identity of self to be in alignment with life, changing your value of sex to be in alignment with life and the physicality. You got to do releasing so that your own projections and junk is getting out of your system, so that when you're around women, there's no judgment. There's acceptance. They can vibe with you. That's when it's open. So there's not a disconnect when these hotter women meet you. Then, instead of them judging you, when you don't judge them and you accept them, then there's just an openness around power and beauty which wants to associate with itself. So then they can feel your chemistry and feel the force of life flowing through you, which is sexual attraction itself. Okay, so it can be done. You can have attraction with hotter women. This is how to actually really work on this to see real results. Okay, so there's more to it. That's just an overview in this video. The work we do practically with it gets you the results. Just hearing this should be transformational on its own, probably open up an entire new reality for you. It's very real, okay? You may want to listen to this video a couple times. I'm grateful that I've been aware of the things that I have been, because it is very powerful. So if you want that stronger reality, accept the most beautiful and powerful people in the world and their power, because it's a reflection of yourself. This is Rion. Subscribe to this channel and we'll talk to you soon. When you want the woman, you take the woman.